Eucharistic miracle. Place of the miracle, Buenos Aires, Argentina. Years of the miracle, 1992, 1994 and 1996. In 1992, after the Mass of Friday, May 1st, while preparing the Eucharistic reserve, a Eucharistic minister found some pieces of consecrated host on the corporal. Following what the Church prescribes to do in these situations, the priest had them put in a vessel of water, which was then placed in the tabernacle to wait for them to dissolve. In the following days, several priests went to check it and they realized that nothing had changed. 7 days later, on Friday, May 8th, they opened the tabernacle and saw that the host fragments had become a reddish color that looked like blood. The following Sunday, May 10th, during the 2 evening masses, several small drops of blood were noticed on the pattens with which the priests distributed communion. On Sunday, July 24, 1994, during the children's mass, while the Eucharistic minister took the pyx from the tabernacle, he saw a drop of blood running along its side. On August 15, 1996, during the Mass of the Assumption of the Most Holy Virgin, a consecrated host, which fell to the ground during the distribution of communion, had to be placed again in a vessel of water so it would dissolve. A few days later, on August 26, a Eucharistic minister opened the tabernacle and saw that host had transformed into blood. It was on the 5th of October 1999, that I went to Buenos Aires to commence my investigation upon the invitation of Dr. Ricardo Castanon. We interviewed the priest, Padre Alejandro Pezzet and other witnesses and took samples. I documented on film the essential parts of my entire investigation. My approach was to prepare the case as a lawyer who would go before a judge. On the 21st of October 1999, we presented a sample for DNA testing to Forensic Analytical Genetics Laboratory in San Francisco. On the 1st of May 2000, they reported to me that whilst there was the presence of human DNA, no human genetic code could be obtained. This was unusual. Different scientists had different opinions. Who was right? I proceeded to study forensic pathology and cell biology. For more than 1 year I researched hundreds of histology images and eventually found forensic pathology and cell biology. For more than 1 year I researched hundreds of histology images and eventually found one that resembled the Buenos Aires case. It was inflamed human heart tissue due to a compromised blood supply. I realized that when the heart suffers trauma, it looks very different from standard textbook images of normal heart tissue. The scientists that I had engaged thus far were not experts in heart trauma. The next step was to find a world expert who was not only a forensic pathologist, but also a cardiologist. I found him in New York, Dr. Frederick Zugib. On the 20th of April 2004, a leading Australian investigative journalist, Mike Wilsey, accompanied me to New York to present Dr. Zugib with my case.